Welcome to the Friday Yard Sale, where we spill our thoughts about the stuff that's happening during the week. And
what's going on here? What is this?
I thought you were gone.
You just couldn't wait, huh?
I thought you were gone. See ya.
Poor representation of Tyler.
It's pretty good, huh?
Surprised you didn't draw a smiley face on there or something.
You smile a lot, I guess.
More than you.
I smile like this.
I just learned that you cut your own hair, too.
That should be painfully obvious to anyone that watches
I don't do a whole lot of close-ups in here, but we could probably start.
I think Rich Dillon even mentioned that.
Oh.
What are you drinking?
Close-ups?
Oh, no, about me cutting my own hair.
Oh. Nice. What am I drinking? It's your bar. Sierra Nevada, but there's no label. Torpedo. Okay, which is good. That's what, like an 8%? I think?
Yeah.
Something?
Yeah, sounds right. Sounds right.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Birdsong Jalapeno Pale Ale out of Charlotte. Out of my Pisgah Mountain Bike Adventure Race glass pin bar, which is coming up soon, and it's a great race, and you should do it. Wait, it's sold out, so you can't.
Oh, sorry. All right, what do we got going on this week? We have a digital list now. We're like upgrading our tech here, and I sent you an invite, and you didn't even know that I sent you an invite to share this wonderful digital list. We should talk about Defeet. This is week number 4 of their sponsorship, unless they renew the last week for this run. So we both got our Defeet socks on. Mm-hmm. That's an older style. This is one of the newer ones, which I'm kind of digging. Like there's a lot of knit going on there, which always surprises me, like the level of detail they can get in the socks these days.
These are a good length.
Yeah. And I don't have the winners list this week because their system was down, but Rob at Defeet said that we could give away a single $100 gift card to Defeat this week. So make sure you pay attention all the way through the end, because somewhere in this episode we'll say the secret word that you need to be able to enter to win a $100 gift card for Defeat socks.
We haven't discussed that.
We'll make up as we go along. The other thing we're doing this week on Bikerumor is our Ask a Stupid Question is sponsored by Pivot Cycles. We'll be posting answers to anything that you guys ask of Pivot Cycles. And Chris Kakalis is just about a brilliant person when it comes to bike design, and they work with one of the most brilliant suspension designers out there for the DW Link system they use, so it should be a really, really good Q&A. Let's do something else before tech. What do you want to talk about before we discuss the tech this week? Because there's some crazy stuff this week.
Crazy tech stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so wasn't a whole lot happening for us. We got Croatan $150 tomorrow. Mm-hmm. I literally just got my bike together.
What are you riding for this?
I have my RLT that I've had for a while. Till I get something else in the works.
Are you riding the carbon or the alloy one?
Steel.
Or the steel?
Steel.
I should have known the answer to that question.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of impressive they have all three, though, that they're offering all three frame materials.
And that frame, honestly, it fits me very well.
Yeah,
and,
I like it a lot.
It's Reynolds 853, which I dig, and it's single speed compatible. So.
Are you riding at single speed?
Yes. And it's pancake flat, and geared. However, we'll see.
Make it up as you go. Show up on race day, see what happens.
Yeah, exactly.
How easy is it for you to switch out a rear cog, or do you switch out the cog or the chainring? Because nowadays you can switch a chainring almost easier than you can switch a cog.
I just switch out the rear cog. Yeah, because I don't have. Got a Shimano Ultegra crank, and I don't have another funky monkey. I got a 4216.
That just sounds big to me, but
that's pretty big. But it's again pancake flat. So I ran a 4218 at Kansas. No, that can't be right.
That sounds
know
hard
these
too.
things.
Is it 150 miles or kilometers?
It's 150 miles.
Wow, that's
so a lot early on. I mean, you've got a lot of events starting to happen the same weekend. You've got Land Run happening. It's 100 miles, a little hillier, a lot hillier, I think.
Yeah. Well, last week I was at the True Grit Epic, which had a 100-mile option, but thank God I didn't, because all of us that were there, that we knew each other, were riding around, and when you hit the lap point, it's like finish this way, 100 miles continue on this way. You're literally like, oh my God, I'm so glad I'm not racing 100 miles because
see this, yeah,
brutal course.
And this one is basically 3 laps. So we'll see what happens when I come back through at 100.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling waxed, I might just stop. 100's a long way.
Yeah, it is.
It's a good distance.
And the mental distance. So we were thinking about this. So the way the True Grit was, and tell me what you think, because you've done more long distance stuff, right? So the way the True Grit was, it was almost like a figure 8. And so for the people doing 100, you're doing 1 and then 2. And we were thinking about, like, mentally, I think I would be less crushed by having to just go and do like 2 laps on this side and then 2 laps on this side, knowing I was right by the finish when I got out of that. Because you can kind of like, it's still fresher in your mind to be like, oh, I'm going to hit this a little better this time, as opposed to being like just fried by the time you get back to
and you have a little bit, yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for all the different ways.
One of the things we did in last week's Friday Yard Sale video that was pretty fun was visited the sponsor shop, Red Rock Bikes, and got their mechanics and salespeople to do a little segment, which we're going to riff off of here this week with Watson, his manager, lead mechanic. What's Ben's title?
Ben is Ben.
Ben.
We don't have titles here necessarily.
Vice Ben
basically runs the place.
Yeah, right.
I'm like Flava Flav, I'm just like, word! Yeah, that's all
People come for the personality and stay for Ben.
Pretty much. If they want, yeah, Ben is the Chuck D to this place.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So if you haven't checked out last week's episode, watch that, because it's a pretty funny little spiff of them going off on some of the just riding along things that they hear in their shop. We're going to do something different this week, but the point is we wanted to introduce an opportunity for the shops.
Yes, absolutely. So send in your video. Where are they going to send in the video?
We'll put a link in the notes on this.
But send in a video of your best customer JRA kind of moment, and you'll see what we're talking about.
Yeah. What we were looking for really is fun, entertaining stuff. And I know that you guys probably hear a ton. Every shop hears great stories from their customers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And by great, it's kind of like highly entertaining to the shop people, and the customer just doesn't understand.
Which will also potentially be illuminating to some customers out there who have asked these questions.
Let's hear what you guys have to say.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah, y'all fixed my rear brake like 2 months ago, and now the front's not working, so I don't know what you did, but you need to fix it.
Yeah, I just had my bike tuned up here like a month ago, and the tires are flat now.
Yeah, I just bought this used fork from you like 6 months ago, and now I don't like it, so...
Yeah, I ordered some wheels online, and they're actually not the right size. Y'all do trade-in?
I bought this taillight like 6 months ago, and now it's out of batteries, so I want a new one.
Yeah, can I borrow your tools? I do most of my own repairs. Just need like do a few adjustments real fast.
All right, so this week in Bike Tech, there were actually some really interesting things, and we're going to run through it super quick with some photos, and I'll have links to these stories at the bottom of this post, so you guys can check it out in detail. But one of the biggest news probably was the Specialized Tarmac disc finally debuted. It's been in the works for a long time, and they actually showed us a prototype of it last summer. We just weren't allowed to write anything about it. What's pretty incredible about it is that it's basically the same frame weight, more or less, as the rim brake one. The fork's a tiny bit heavier, but you can get a complete disc brake road bike at under the UCI legal limit, so it's like 14.6 something pounds for a complete bike, and it is just as aero as the first generation Venge. So Specialized also launched their power meter cranks, which people have been seeing on some of the pro bikes, Peter Sagan's bike and other pro teams. But what is interesting about this is that they didn't build their own power meter system. They leveraged the technology from 4Eyes and built it onto their carbon S-Works cranks. So what they ended up with was something that's very accurate, that they tested both in their own wind tunnel, and they built out their own little treadmill thing inside their wind tunnel to test this, and then had a third party verified. But it's also pretty much the lightest power meter road crankset out there at like 440 grams with a 172.5 arm. Another thing we found this week was a patent filing from Laos Cycles, and I know we've been talking about Laos so much this week, it's just pure coincidence that their stuff just keeps rolling in or we've been reviewing it, but what is kind of cool about this is it's a saddle that they've hinted to us for the past couple of years that they're working on a saddle, but then every time we ask about it, they're like, no, we're going to do this other thing first, and then they launched their gravel bike last summer, and then this year they said, no, it's not coming this year, but it remains to be seen because the patent has been filed, and the design is in progress, and basically it's a leaf spring rail system that offers suspension in the vertical plane for your saddle as opposed to like a flex seat post that kind of flexes rearward and stuff, and so they're claiming that this puts the suspension motion in the right direction without screwing up your geometry, and is also extremely lightweight, and probably one of the real kickers for like gravel and mountain biking is that it will be dropper post compatible. Speaking of suspension, Vorsprung launched their fractive tuning kit for Fox Fit 4 forks.
You want to do it again?
That, what was wrong with that take? That was perfect. I'm going to keep going. And it basically changes the tuning increments for the standard, climb, descend, trail, whatever modes that you have nowadays, and makes them, in their words, kind of more usable. So check that out if you're interested in getting a higher definition of tune on your Fox fork. And then maybe one of the craziest things we saw this week was this Canyon Grail gravel bike, which introduced a double layer handlebar that makes the top part where the flats are kind of like almost like a giant leaf spring that you can rest your hands on and get some tune. But then it's got like, now instead of like you're either on the tops or the drops, now there's a middle position for you to rest your hands on. So you're definitely going to want to take a look at that. There's
I don't know if you will.
Yeah, you will, because it's one of those things. It's like, what the hell?
It's all over the Instagrams.
Probably so.
Looks like a Klingon warship.
Kind of cool. I mean, it actually looks kind of cool, and you can probably use it on any bike, but they definitely designed it to look best on their bike because of the way the top tube comes up to
I don't know if you can use it on their bike.
No, I think I read the article. Did you read the article last?
No. I looked at that thing and was like, okay.
Bike tours. So we interviewed Thompson Bike Tours this week to kind of figure out like what would you want to know if you were getting ready to pay big bucks to go on a professionally led cycling tour or a cycling camp. And there's a difference, and that was one of the questions we asked, so check that out for sure. But you take a lot of road trips solo, usually solo, and so like at any point on your misadventures, when you've gotten lost or the band breaks down or something like that, it'd be like, man, wouldn't it have been nice if I had just gone on a real guided tour to explore these areas and have people, lead me on some of the best rides and great food and neutral support.
Absolutely, man. Part of the reason that I do all my stuff on my own is because I'm living on crackers. So, I'm just broke. So I'm unable to afford the tour, but absolutely, the few times I've been able to be a part of something like that, you show up at camp, food's prepared, there's actually a route that's prepared and rules as opposed to me assuming that I'm going the right direction and then 12 hours later stumbling to my van.
Crying?
Yeah.
Broken?
Yeah, and I mean, I think, but their whole thing, they do a lot of trips, like European to like France and
they
stuff like that.
They do a ton of Europe. Their newest one is in Medellin, Colombia, so South America.
And going somewhere like that, yeah, just knowing what roads to ride and that'd be great. So, Thompson, I'm willing to be the Bikerumor liaison on the next trip. I am a lot of fun.
If they did, you would have to promise to write your story like within, let's say, 3 weeks of return.
Okay.
Not 3 to 6 months.
I can do that. I can do that.
A little discipline. I'll crack the whip.
That worked out well for Grand Duro because it came out right before registration.
I did. Very good.
So there's sometimes a meaning to my madness.
Right.
Because I totally meant to.
Yeah, that was fully planned out in advance. All right. Well, what should the secret word this week be? And while you're thinking, I'm going to let you come up with it. While you're thinking, so what you need to do to win this week is enter a secret word that Watts is going to come up with at defeat.com/bikerumor. There's a little form. All you got to type in is your email address and the secret word, which is...
No means no.
There you go. So if you want to win a $100 gift card to Defeat Socks and order up whatever your heart desires, some of these killer artist series designs and whatever, enter No Means No at defeat.com/bikerumor. And on that note, we'll see you next week.
Hey guys, if you like this week's video, be sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel.